What's happening? What's going on? Apologize for me being late. I just came back from a doctor's appointment, so I was running a little late. I was trying to get it. Thought I was going to be done before 1 o'clock. Yeah, but it didn't happen. But okay, but we're here. Glad for anybody and everybody to be here. Well, I guess I need to give it the title, don't I? K Megafold 5. Welcome you here to the channel. See, I've messed it up already. Forget it. This is what happens when you go live and when I was over here ad-libbing. But anyway, thank you for coming through. Definitely want to have something to discuss, give my thoughts video. This is pretty interesting. Like, I posted this yesterday in regards to this news that was coming from, where I first heard it was from the news. Watching the news, they were talking about there was some Democrats and Republicans, which bipartisanship, something that you don't really hear too much about in the States. Yeah, what's going on, legends? And you don't hear too much about bipartisanship, too much about what's going on in the States because of the divide that we've been having in the country here for the last, I would say, 8 years or so, six years for sure, 6 to 8 years. But this was pretty interesting because it pertains to gaming, and this is why, from when you look at the thumbnail that I put in here, it's something that I've been saying here for a little while, and it has to do with Sony overstepping their. I've said this many moons ago. I said the industry is watching as well. But I was not expecting, I knew that the industry overall, the gaming industry, and this is the industry and business is looking at this deal because you don't really so much have big corporations. You do have, there's people that goes and wants certain deals to be stopped and things like that. But when Sony came out and pushed as hard as they did, it was one of these things to me where it was like, okay, I was at 98% when that happened. But when they came out and they were really like aggressive with it, then I was like, oh, well, maybe they have something up their sleeve that we just don't know about. So I dropped it to 90. I'm like, well, I give it a 90% chance that this is going to go through because Sony has to have a huge, fantastic argument in order for them to even get this to go, right? And oh, good to see you too, man. Good to see you too, Michael. Good to see you guys. Thank you. Yeah, and so now, it's just one of these things where Sony has pressed and pressed, and now they pressed a little bit too hard. I'm going to get to that, but if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the share notification, do all that. Show support to the channel. I really do appreciate for you guys to come through. And something that I got to do, well, I'm glad to do, is for a hot second, if you don't mind, before we get into it, I'm going to have to go ahead and let you hear from my sponsor, HelloFresh. So just bear with me, man. That's awesome to say, actually. So anyway, here we go. Before we get started with today's video, we'd like to thank our sponsor, HelloFresh. And with HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your front door. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh's lineup of meals like steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce, Southwest pork and bean burritos, falafel power bowls. I don't even know what a falafel is, but you know it's got to be fresh. It's coming from HelloFresh. Come on. And look at this chicken. My God. Looks so succulent and juicy. I definitely got to get a piece of that. And you want some too. So go ahead and try HelloFresh. Just click on the link below for a special limited time discount plus free shipping. So try it today. All right, man. Thank you so much. He said this must be an epic discount. Man, it's a great discount, man. Go ahead, legends. Go ahead, man. You saw that chicken. That chicken looked succulent and delicious, man. That chicken looked good. Woo. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of orders coming in, so I'll get to show it to you live in my next promo. Yeah. And I'm getting that chicken. So, but yeah, thank you, HelloFresh, for the sponsorship. It's been awesome. Thank you so much. You said that's the best HelloFresh video. Appreciate it, man. Anyway, and I still don't know what a falafel is. I have no idea. That I need to ask Yobi. I should have asked Yobi when he came on for fight night Sunday when I was getting my ass kicked all night long. I did win a couple in Street Fighter 5, but in Killer Instinct, it was a shellacking. So I got to get some revenge on that, and I got to get some revenge on Cali Rex because he got me in a match. Anyway, but to the story at hand. Sony pushed too hard. Sony pushed a little bit too hard for two reasons. One, now listen, I know a lot of people are jumping on Jim Ryan, right? But this came from Jim Ryan. I mean, this didn't come from Jim Ryan, sorry. Jim Ryan was told to do this from his superiors. I know that Jim Ryan's going to take a lot of flack for this. And this is why I've even asked, I made a poll the other day asking, hey man, if this deal looks like it's going to go through, it is going to go through. It may have a few more concessions, but the ABK deal is going through. It's going to take about, I say by the end of the year, because the FTC is going to still push it to take it to court. But after this news, I'm going to tell you, I don't know so much, because as Sony has been doing all this lobbying, sending out Jim Ryan to go check out his homeboy from the CMA and say, yo, what's up, bro? I know we ain't kicked in a long time, but man, I need a favor. I need you to go do something. And the CMA was trying as hard as they could to try to make this look bad. What up, child of God? What's happening with you, fam? Always good, man. Always good to see you up in here, bro. Slick Slayer. All you guys. Legends, please tell me what he says. Falafel is basically a deep fried chickpea mini patty. It's fracking delicious. Okay. Okay. All right. See, I didn't know what a falafel was. I thought it was like a tortilla, like a healthy tortilla or something. It just didn't sound like a deep fried mini patty. So a chickpea mini patty. I don't even know what that is, but I still don't know. But anyway, but you know it's fresh because it's coming from HelloFresh. All right, HelloFresh, not HaloFresh, HelloFresh. Anyway, enough with the promo stuff. But yeah, the link is down in the description. Go check that out. Help your boy out. But Sony pushed Jim to do this, or maybe Jim suggested it as a plea, maybe. I don't know. I just think it's the Sony superiors that told Jim to get out there and to start making that work, making it happen. And the CMA did make it look interesting there for a little while. And then the EU kind of followed, and then the FTC was on some other silly garbage. And but I don't think anybody's caring about the FTC just because of one reason and one reason alone. They have no case. They have no merit to even have this. And on top of that, the person, and I'm a Democrat, and the person that's in charge right now, she's on another level tripping because of the fact that she just wants to halt any big corporation. And listen, I get it. You don't want these big corporations to swallow up everything in its wake like it's a Unicron from Transformers the movie, if anybody watched Transformers the movie, which one of the best animated movies of all time. But it's also beneficial, especially for Microsoft / Xbox, or just Xbox, to get in this game deeper and show that they're trying to do something. That's the one thing that a lot of people have been asking. Xbox gamers have been pleading for this. And I think maybe for a second here that why Sony has made these type of moves the way that they have to look so desperate to want to stop this ABK deal is one of the reasons why I'm just kind of thinking like they came out with this whole thought process. Well, hey, we're kind of like a mom and pop shop, and here comes this big chain coming in, and we're only just trying to sustain and make it happen the best way we can. Oh my God, please stop this because we just can't sustain. Even though going by history, and there's a lot of people, especially on the PlayStation stand side, do not want to talk about the history of PlayStation. The fact of it is that they were the big unicorn. They were the unicorn when they first jumped into the scene. Now, Nintendo is Nintendo, but Nintendo is very frugal with their money, but they maintain. They got bread. But poor Sega, the TurboGrafx 16, Atari tried to make the comeback, Magnavox, all of that. Nothing could stop that big corporation that was Sony, or that is still Sony, that came in and started to gobble up everything in their own special way. So, lo and behold, what am I talking about? There's an article that came, like I said, I caught this on the news, and so I started to look for articles for it, and sure enough, there it was. And the gaming articles, some of them have got some pretty good detail, others not so much. They just kind of just throw it in there because it's something. It's the news of the day. So I went to a place that I trust, is Axios. So if you want to go look at that article, go to Axios and then just type in about the antitrust laws between U.S. and Japan. This is why I say that Sony has played themselves. They have tried to get in here to try to stop this deal, and now they have caused bipartisanship between the Democrats and Republicans to come out and ask this question because nobody has really been paying attention to it. So while Sony was over here doing all this lobbying to the CMA and to the EU, trying to make sure that they stop this, Microsoft did something that a lot of people didn't expect Microsoft to do. If you listen to a lot of people, they felt like Microsoft is just too soft. They were going to back out of this deal because it was just too much pressure. Microsoft has been on another level. Once you heard, let there be competition from the man himself, as people call him the Godfather now, Satya, this is kind of like, now you're looking at this, Microsoft ain't playing, and neither is Activision. They want this merger to happen. So therefore, when you see people like Lulu, and now you got Aaron Greenberg correcting stands out there that were once former Xbox stands, and now they're conspiracy theory PlayStation stand, it's ridiculous. I don't even know. But when you got Aaron Greenberg coming out there, we got Greeny getting out there, setting the record straight, you know Microsoft is now on another level. They feel way more confident about what they're going to bring, what they have available right now that's coming up soon, and for their business ventures to make sure that they can compete against Sony and really be a true legitimate big three, like a lot of people was looking at them back in the 360 era. That's what everybody's been wanting, right? So Microsoft has been doing the lobbying themselves. There's no question that Microsoft's like, okay, all right, Sony, all right, word. Oh man. Man, come on, just take this 3-year deal, bro. Oh, you know what? We'll extend it to 10. We are here for you. We don't want you to fail, Sony. We're just here for you. Take the deal. Nope. Sony's like, nope. We ain't doing nothing. We got you where we want you because you're soft. You're soft like Jello, like you shout like wet toilet paper. Okay. All right. So, okay, got you. All right, Sony. We gonna leave out here. We gonna walk out this door right now. We got you. Yeah, get your soft ass out here. Get on. All right. So then they go up here and they start talking to these politicians out here in the United States. And now here comes the attention. So let's go ahead and show you a little bit of some of this, right? I'm not going to read all because it's a pretty thorough read if you want to go and check out the article on Axios. But let's go ahead and look into this. Let's see this. Hopefully I won't fat finger this Slayer and hit another button and then pop in something else. But here we go. Let me go. All right. Here we go. Boom. All right. There we go. All right. So right here, there's this Sony anti-competitive tactics. Let's see right here. Okay, so this is the big picture. It says the heat on Sony is unmistakably coinciding with the Japanese company's own pressure on the antitrust regulators to block Microsoft's $69 billion bid to buy Activision Blizzard. Okay, Sony's anti-competitive tactics deserve discussion. And these are coming from the politicians, right? From the Republicans and the Democrats right now. And it says, we welcome further investigation to ensure a level playing field in the video game industry. Microsoft spoken this was from Microsoft. This was Dave Cuddy, where he was saying to Axios, And he said, so here's the part from Axios says, while Microsoft isn't saying just how involved it was in orchestrating this push, its government affairs team has discussed these issues with a number of Congress. And see, this Axios understands because they're a political kind of faction. They kind of jump into everything. But this is news because you're dealing with Congress and stuff like that. So, and so when they hit up Sony, what did Sony say? Sony reps did not reply to the request. So they're making it. There's a hearing Thursday, and they'll be talking about this situation going forward. And look, it's they already had it because it's the 28th. So they already talked about this on the 23rd, right? Okay, so yeah, they got here's a little information about that. So what's funny about this, right? And like I said, this is a pretty good read. You can keep going through it or whatever. So, get back to the gameplay because I'm ready to get messy. What we found out today, I seen that Tom posted that Japan, all of a sudden, Japan ain't saying nothing, right? Japan has been quiet. Japan is like, hey, we want this deal to go through. What? The U.S. Japanese trade, Japan trade. Oh man, what? Yeah, let this happen. Oh no, don't, no. Sony, no, don't worry about Sony. We'll take care of Sony. Japan patch today. They talked about this. Congress is like, we're going to do some investigating. This was last week. They're like, we're going to do a hearing. PlayStation is killing Xbox. We all knew that. We knew as gamers, we knew this, that Xbox was getting killed, getting curb stomped in Japan when it came to, because Xbox don't have any of those IPs that Japanese games love. They're getting better at it. They're getting better, and Phil has gone out there pleading his case. For now, we got for us out here in the States and in the West that are Xbox fans, we're getting finally getting these great games like Persona and all this other stuff. Even though people try to say I talked bad about it because I said penis demon, which there is a penis demon in Persona, and then when I would say Noonie Cooney. That's just me being funny because I really actually am bad at pronouncing stuff because I'm country, so whatever. But let him clown. The truth of the fact is that Phil is out there been doing his work. And now since he's gone out there to do his work, it's been helping. But it's nowhere near enough because Sony has been doing this from the jump, ever since they did it to Sega. They did it to the Sega Saturn with Tomb Raider 2. That was an exclusive launch title for the Saturn. That was a Saturn launch title, the first Tomb Raider. And then all of a sudden, you didn't see Tomb Raider on that game, on Saturn ever again. Now, you might have got 3. I don't think 3 was on there either, but it wasn't 2 because Sony locked it down. And did Sony do this organic growth that we've been hearing that people have been talking about? Oh, the organic growth from what Sony has done from game, that we take it from the ground as a seed and then put it in a pot and we help it grow. No. They just over here, they just went to the store, bought the plant as is, maybe put a little water on it, and then that was it. That's what Sony has done. That's what Sony's been doing. They've been nickel and diming, they've been swap meat buying exclusive content. What up, Chicken? Chicken, I love that name, man. That's a great name. Think about this. Think about this for a second. They have been swap meat buying. They ain't really been organically growing and pulling this out. Man, you mean to tell me Insomniac wasn't already established? You mean to tell me that there was no games made for Naughty Dog before Sony picked them up? Come on now, stop it. Anyway, so Sony has been doing the swap meat buying for a long time. And they've been doing that, saving them money because they're not acquiring any of these studios that they've been having these games exclusive to, and all through the years since Sony has been around a lot longer than Xbox, they have a much stronger and better relationship with these Japanese developers. And so therefore they're like, look, man, we'll give you the bag. They might get discounts on some of these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things. They gave this false pretense that American or Western gamers do not like Japanese content. If that was the case, why did America have all these arcades from the 70s to the 90s until even to the early 2000s until arcades pretty much kind of went away? If that's the case, because who was those people that was making those arcades mostly? Namco? I didn't know Namco was a US company. It never has been. Stop it. Capcom? Wait. I thought Capcom was a Japanese. Listen, American gamers, Western gamers love Japanese games just like they love RPGs. So it's always going to be some people that like a certain genre more than the other. That is. And yes, there was some very silly ass content creators that would try to put into people's heads, and we know who all those people are. Much love for some of them because I worked with some of them, but gave this false pretense that we're American. We should just care about American games. Japanese games over there, they're so weird and different. We don't want them. I always fought for that. So anybody that came out and lied and said, oh, well, I was a part of that clique that said that. No, I always was a strong opponent against anybody saying that garbage. Because if you are a gamer, especially a lifelong gamer, you have loved Japanese games just as much as you've loved Western games. It is just in any game that's out there that is hot to you. So again, but they've had Sony has had great relationships with the developers and publishers out there in Japan. And so therefore they have been locking down content for decades, not a couple of years, but for decades, ever since Sony has been out there. And Xbox, once they came out there with the big green machine and with the big dinner plate controller with the Duke, it was already being salted, right? But then they did have some hot Asian games on their Japanese games. It's just the fact that it was just getting started. The 360 was a phenomenon. It was great. It was one of the best consoles I've ever played in my life, right? The Xbox One, what almost got Xbox snuff out was the Xbox One approach from management, period. Because the people that was in charge before Phil got there to take over, because Phil's been there from the beginning. But the fact of it is, before he took over, we all know the story of that. Xbox was almost out of there, and then the content didn't have and Sony was just eating up. So this is going back to the whole point of this article from Axios, is basically saying, look, Congress wasn't paying attention because it's talking about video games. You think some of these people, they think about Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, yeah, that's cool, but they ain't thinking about the money that gaming has produced. I think now everybody is starting to pay attention to how much money gaming does bring in. It is the number one entertainment in the world. Gaming is huge, massive. I would even like to see where gaming stacks up to gambling. In a sense, like, to like sports bets gambling and stuff like that. I think that sports bet gambling is still a bigger monster. But entertainment wise, we all know that video games is massive. And I think now when they see that there's money, and look, what do these politicians want? They want these lobbyists so they can get paid. That is just the reality of it. There are still some good politicians out there. I know some people will tell you that there's not, but there is. But the reality is that, hey, look, man, scratch my back, scratch yours. And so now you got some Republicans, you got some Democrats that's looking into this, investigating, and then the funny thing is that Japan went ahead and accepted and said, "Oh, look, we'll go ahead and let that slide. Well, don't worry about that." And so now, if this agreement when the Congress looks furthermore into this agreement, this is just more heat for Sony. All because they wanted to play the victim instead of them being the behemoth that they are. and accepting competition as it's supposed to be and what everybody wants, even for the even PlayStation gamers, the die-hard PlayStation fans that can't stand anything but PlayStation, knows that it just isn't a good look to get out there and beg and plead that that this company is that much in trouble. If Call of Duty, even though we know how big and massive, I've written off Call of Duty a couple of times. I will never do it again. I am wrong about the mighty Call of Duty. Just Call of Duty is, I'm like, they're so bold. They went ahead and they pulled out a battle royale only game, no story mode, no nothing. I don't know how I did. I never bought it because I'm not really that big into battle royale like that. But the point of the matter is, they that bold to do that and still come out with another game that really didn't sell that well, which I think was World War II. After that, I believe it was either Black Ops 3 or it was World War II. I can't really remember which one that was, but World War II didn't do that well. Sales wise, fantastic story though. The multiplayer was just ugh. The problem is that, like, I'm like, okay, this is the time where I think people are going to get sick of Call of Duty. Nah, man, all they got to do is go back to the original recipe, and now they're back stronger than ever. So I will not ever deny them again. But this is what Sony has done to put themselves in this position by forcing themselves to try to stop this deal. And they didn't have a good reason to try to stop it. Brazil, everybody should have paid attention to Brazil, even though Brazil is an Xbox country, pretty much, which, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Brazil, to the people out there in Brazil, Xbox gamers, let's go. But the problem is that they were right. Like, it's not their job to protect a corporation. They just want to look out for their citizens. That's what every country should be looking forward to. That's why it was so odd, and I got that a lot of people got angry. I was annoyed by the CMA and what they were trying to pull and what they were saying, and it just didn't make any sense, but it also showed their ignorance. Even the FTC showed their ignorance. The CMA, the EU showed their ignorance on giving false thought process that, oh, well, you know, this deal is, there's other shooters out there that are just as popular, if not maybe some that are more popular. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, if you look at Fortnite, can you really say Fortnite is less popular than Call of Duty? If anything, they're tied. But I would say Fortnite might be more popular than COD. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? I never really checked the data on that, but it is a phenomenon, right? So, and then you got others. You got League of Legends, you got Road Company, you got it was the PC shooter. I can't even think of it right now. It starts with a V, but there's lots of popular shooters out there. Battlefield. See, if I was EA, I would have felt a certain way about how they talked bad about Battlefield. Even though EA keeps shooting themselves with a foot with Battlefield, Battlefield is still a quality shooter when it's done properly, right? And then, of course, there's Halo. Halo did have their stumbles, but Halo is still going to always be around. Trust and believe that. So, again, there's plenty of competition out there for COD. It's just amazing how they went crazy and did all this crazy stuff by trying to make it seem like, oh, you know what? And it was funny because I seen what King David did. That was a great piece where he was showing all the PlayStation first party games, and then all of a sudden, but it takes just one, and it's a third party title that they don't even own that's going to shut everything down. Like, it was an awful way to try to get themselves to be presented, but then yet they still want to tout that they're the market leader. They still want to show that boasting. Every time I see something where they try to brag about some numbers about something, I'm like, shut up. Y'all sounded weak as hell by over here doing all this pleading and crying, and y'all over here want to act like y'all this dominant factor, but then y'all try to prove that y'all try to say that you're not. Doesn't make any sense. What's going on, Snooki? He said, what up, my brother? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, We Bleed Green forever, no doubt. Shout out to We Bleed Green. They had a huge show last night. Man, I was checking it out. Yeah, I didn't make no comment or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Griggity and to For Dirt and all them out there, man. It's fantastic to see them doing fantastic work out there and getting bigger and bigger each time that I see them. So man, shout out to those guys. Rain sliding through. You said this game looks like Record, bro. Stop talking about Forspoken. I like Forspoken. I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep showing content. I got a video of it, of me playing until I got to the first like major boss, and then I'm going to continue to keep showing gameplay of it until I beat it, man. Because I like this game. I think this game it got too much heat, man. I think this game it is not a game of the year contender. It is not what's the stance has tried to come out to make this game to be, but it is a good title. It is not a bad game at all. What up with you, Dragonheart? Yo, be good, brother. Listen, I'm already ready on my revenge tour. I'm finna come tomorrow. I'm finna get ready to do fight night tomorrow afternoon. So if you got time to come through, come through. I'm on my revenge tour after Sunday night shellacking after getting just beat down all night long. That was horrible. But a couple of more points. If Sony didn't do this, and they just went ahead and they did what like NVIDIA did. Like just say, look, man, we're a little concerned. And I think it was also Amazon that came out and said, we were concerned. They kept quiet. They had concerns. They could have been, and maybe been a little bit loud saying, yeah, we just kind of don't like this whole model or whatever. Everything would have been cool. Everything would have been cool. But I don't know where Sony got their idea from, thinking that if they acted the way that they have been to stop this deal. I don't know if they listen to, because there is, there's no big secret that there are PR people, there are some executives. I don't know so much into the PlayStation wheelhouse, but I know an Xbox. There's executives, there's PR people, there's other people that work through these companies that listens to podcasts, that listens to spaces, that listen to all different types of content, read stuff and pay attention. But I don't know if they got their ideas from maybe some more popular PlayStation podcasts or something like that, or some content creators that maybe posted something about Microsoft will be too scared and they'll back out. I mean, these guys are not batting 1,000. These guys have been making these predictions. They've been looking pretty bad here for the last 5 years. I mean, they were living off of the PlayStation 4 glory, but it's not looking that well. And another point too, I asked this to Dark and on GRG Friday night, and if you cannot get it to GRG because I'm going through a copyright claim because of some gameplay of a game called Berserk, Band of the Hawk, which I'll win. But you can check it out on Twitch, on my Twitch. So you can go to KMega405 and you can see the whole entirety of GRG on Twitch if you want to go check it out, or just wait till it pops back up. But I asked Dark Optimus, what big titles that we know of right now that Sony is dropping that they own, that they own? We know the big titles that are coming, but what are the big titles that Sony is dropping this year that they own? VR, nobody's going to be clamoring over VR like that. Like, VR's got some good looking games. I'm not going to say that they don't have good looking games, but it's not going to be a console seller. You know what I mean? None of those VR games are going to be console sellers. But the console sellers that we know that's coming out, what are the ones that Sony owns? Can anybody in the chat let me know? Do anybody in the chat knows? I need to know. Name me a game that they're bringing out that's a big hitter that is owned by Sony this year. None. Spider-Man, they do not own Spider-Man. Even though that there was some stands out there trying to lie and say, oh man, yeah, they own that. No, they own the movie rights. They paying Marvel. Now they might get a good cut because Marvel needs them to make Spider-Man movies. If those Spider-Man movies ever get dry, which I don't think they ever will, because Spider-Man is very, very popular. But if they ever get dry and Marvel don't need them, they're gonna raise up them rates on them Spider-Man games. Is Sony willing to keep paying? Ooh, I don't know. But Spider-Man does not belong to Sony. The game rights do not belong to Sony. They belong to Marvel. The Final Fantasies, the second entry to Final Fantasy VII Remake belongs to Square Enix. It is not a Sony property, even though everybody is looking at them to be their next big purchase. They do not own them yet. Final Fantasy 16. Still, Sony does not own them. It's so. Which one is it? So when people keep telling you about the aspect of owning games or owning these properties, and Microsoft is going out here purchasing doing it, I feel the right way, instead of doing it the way the Sony has been doing it, just been, swap meet buying. Buy the studio. If you know what I'm saying, if you got enough money to get a publisher, go get them. Do what you got to do. But don't sit here and because I don't believe this. I've said this many times in Fight Night, right? Any game that is owned by the publisher, by Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation, then that fighter should stay and remain exclusive. Killer Instinct, it should remain exclusive. Microsoft owns that. Smash Brothers, it's owned by Nintendo. It should stay exclusive. PlayStation doesn't have anything like that. Now, PlayStation decided to want to get Konami, and then they bring Bloody War. By all means, make it. If they want to get Arc System Works, there's been a lot of PlayStation fans that was making speculations that they were going to get Arc Systems Works. Then all those games, DNF do all of them. Yes, then you get it on PC or you get it on PlayStation. But since PlayStation is playing this game for so long, and nobody has really been noticing, and nobody knew. I didn't even know that this was a violation of the trade of Japanese and United States trade. And you know what I'm saying? And just because, and maybe a lot of people looked over and said, well, man, it's video games, it might be. No, they implemented a new deal in 2019 that included digital content. So consoles is a little bit different, I guess, in that sense. But when it comes to digital properties, that's a whole different animal. And since Sony has been dominating against Xbox in Japan the way they have, because they've kept games off of the platform, that's a violation. That's a violation. So when I had Brap and when I seen Thrash come here and say, how? When I said that Sony said that they played themselves, how? This is how. They're being investigated now. Now, will the investigation come out to be anything? No, because I'm telling you right now, things are going to start opening up. Things are going to start changing. Sony is going to have no choice but to make the moves that they do not want to make. And that is to spend money. Oh, Jason B, I'm trying to figure that out too. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure that out too. What happened to all this organic growth talk? I said this earlier. Yes. Welcome. What happened to it? What happened to all this organic growth? You're going to sit here and try to say, listen, if it's just no different than any other business out there. If you want to try to compete or at least try to maintain, to have a strong standing against who's ever number one, or if you're trying to fight to be number one, you're going to have to purchase. You're going to have to buy. You can't just come in there and even if you're really popular, if you go in there and you have a great restaurant and the food is some of the best food, better than even the place that's the most popular. If you don't have anything to sell these people on to get people's attention, in the sense of, let's just say, content, advertisement, things like that, then the people ain't going to know how good it is. And when you come and think about Xbox, even though, of course, Xbox gamers, we know how many games are out there that Xbox has that are great games. But for the most part, some people who don't really pay attention, the only thing they think of is, Halo, Gears, and Forza. So now it's going to be Redfall, Starfield, Doom, Wolfenstein, countless other games out there, Wasteland, and new titles that's going to, Perfect Dark, Fable's going to make a return. Fable was in that discussion there a long time ago, but now Fable is going to be making a return at some point, whenever. I beg Xbox gamers to be patient and don't listen to so many other people out there to not be impatient, because the strategy that Microsoft has been doing has been damn good. There's been some flaws, of course, but having patience brings out a better product. PlayStation has been doing it for a long time. All of last gen, and even starting off into this gen, they have delayed games to make sure that those games get the right polish and all of that. And those games most of those games get highly acclaimed. Redfall wasn't on my radar when I first seen it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to definitely play it. It's on Game Pass, going to give it a shot. But now you look at Redfall for when it first was announced to when people were showing like certain pictures or like the hidden little video where it wasn't complete, to now when you look and you hear, oh, this game, and it's looking more and more polished before release. Starfield is going to get the same treatment. Stalker 2 is going to get the same treatment. Now that's a different circumstance, but still it's still there. Hellblade 2 is going to get more polished. Hell, we've already seen when we first seen that trailer in 2019 at VGAs that couldn't be real. They stepped it up at GDC and made that even look like that was obsolete. Incredible work. So that's what you want. That's what Xbox needs to do to add to their portfolio, to have everything set in place. PlayStation's just going to have to find another way to compete, because it is, Call of Duty. People are still going to buy. If they are a PlayStation fan, they're going to continue to buy PlayStation. It's no different than a PC gamer. A person that paid for a high-end PC is not going to drop down to a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo. They will buy one or the other, or maybe two of the others, but they are not going to step down. They're not. I mean, as me now built my very first high-end PC and definitely see the difference, I can see why they're not going to ever come. Why would they come down? Why? So the point of the matter is that it's like, if Xbox is going to compete the way that people are wanting them to compete, they got to do it a different angle. They have the pockets to do it. They're showing the effort to do it. And that's what's important. PlayStation's got to start doing that. The old way, it might be done. And I give it maybe a couple of years. There's going to have to be some kind of regulations, because if it doesn't, then they're going to start saying, well, Xbox, you can start doing the same. And then just think about that with the power of Game Pass. Think about that for a second. If Xbox get the green, because in one of those articles that was given, that was shown, they were like, hey, Xbox could go and do a timed exclusive with Call of Duty. Xbox is not going to do that, because I don't think Xbox likes that. Maybe, I don't know. They tried to do it with Tomb Raider, but the media jumped on them. Never jumped on Sony whatsoever, but they jumped on Xbox for the Tomb Raider situation, right? I don't think that's because Xbox is going to want that money back. They want to recoup that money as quickly as possible. So they'll put Call of Duty on everything. And for those 10 years, by that 10 years, I say within 3-4 years max, they'll already have their money back. Well before the 10-year deal. Everything else is just going to be extra profit. And you know what that extra profit is going to go into, right? Game development and Game Pass deals. Ooh, what's going on, King Cooper? He said Naughty Dog just made an announcement foreshadowing their games will launch day and date on PC as well. And it begins. And it begins, folks. We've been saying this. We have been saying this. It makes no. Me and Mooch had this discussion. Shout out to Mooch coming on to GRG. Believe it was the beginning of the year. It was at the end of the year, last year. And he was trying to make the case of why it makes more sense to have games stay exclusive on PlayStation for however many years or year, whatever. And my point was this: you're losing money because PlayStation games depreciate over time and very quickly. They do not. God of War is already what, $39.99 now or less? On PC, you can get God of War for $19 if you find the right deal. Days Gone is like, it was like $7 for the spring sale, but I already bought Days Gone when it first dropped on PC. I mean, I did a lot of double dipping. We ain't gonna do too much more of that double dipping though. That's out the door though. But it was one of the things that I'm just looking at it like, okay, yeah, you're maximizing getting as many PlayStation gamers to get your to buy your console if they don't have the console, and to buy those games, right? And you can still have, but those games, it's like 20, 30, 40, 10, 15. I've seen deals to where PlayStation had games for like $3. What? How's that making more money? When you drop that puppy in there at $70, yes, there will be some people that will wait until it goes down, because like I said, PlayStation games, those single player games, depreciate very quick unless they're really hot for that time being, and there may be a couple of months, but they will soon depreciate. And then you know what I'm saying, you can just go ahead and you can still recoup more, because there'll still be people that wants those games at full price. But when you offer a game and that's been 3-4 years old, it's only because of the beginning, when you first started letting these PlayStation games come, that people were willing to spend their money. They're not willing to spend it now. They've already had a taste of it. They already had a taste. And they've already beat the game, or they played the game, they like it, but then the next thing you know, because PC gamers are fickle. Gamers all around are fickle, but PC gamers are very fickle. They're not going to sit here and they're not going to pay a lot of money. not service games, where Sony is going to be going, is the smart solution. But will the PlayStation gamers contribute? Because they have been so systematically placed in a spot to where only single player games is what matters. Multiplayer games like COD, like Fortnite, things like that, free to plays, the popular ones, they're not included. But for others, okay, so you're gonna do Twisted Metal, one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. Love Twisted Metal. But what if it comes up to be like, what was that last game? Something Derby, that PlayStation game like Derby. Or what if it was like 3? What if it comes out like to be like a Twisted Metal 3? I mean, not Twisted Metal. Was it Twisted Metal 3? The one that came on PlayStation 3? I bought that game, excited, full price. That game was so bad. I went and I didn't even beat the story. I got halfway through the story. I was like, what did they do, my boy Sweet Tooth? What is this? What is this? It just didn't have any soul compared to what you played with Twisted Metal Black. No, I went Twisted Metal 3. I forgot what that last Twisted Metal was. Was it Twisted Metal 4, I believe? But no, Twisted Metal 3 was still great. After Twisted Metal, it was the game after Twisted Metal Black that came on PlayStation 3. Awful. I took that game back knowing that I paid full price and knowing that GameStop was gonna destroy me with the value because, and it was even worse because there was so many returns that I didn't get nowhere near the percentage for a brand new game like you would normally. So, but that it's just what it was. But I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't enjoy it at all. So if, let's just say, Sony's going to make 10 of these service games, right? 10 of them. And let's say 3 hit. Because I think Factions, whenever they drop Factions, I think that's going to be solid. I think that's going to be the one. If they make it free to play, like me and Bot have a bet going on. So we'll see if they make that free to play, get the drip, and then you still have the same things of what you had from the last multiplayer from the first Last of Us game. And just add more stuff to it, more polish, all this, that's going to be a hit. I think that's going to hit. I think that will hit. Twisted Metal, I hope it hits. I don't know about the others. I mean, you got something from Destiny, so could they jump in and try to make another kill zone for them? Or I don't know. We'll see. But if you get 3 out of 10, that's still solid. But not all 10's going to hit. Just not. And especially if Sony cuts corners, it will be very noticeable. So let me read this super chat, man. Thank you so much. Drawn T, he said, Drawn TJ, he said, Mega would like to have me on your show sometime. Yeah, man. Yeah. Anybody interested wanting to come on and hop on GRG sometime, let me know. Or if I'm doing one of these My Thought videos, just hit me up in the description on that's the description in the DMs in Twitter at KMega4. Just hit me up and we can just have a discussion. It's all good. I mean, I get long with it like this with my thoughts, and then I get out of here because I'm like, damn, I've talked a lot. Anyway, but overall, I think that Sony has made a bad decision by going too far with this. I didn't understand it. I've said it. I've stressed it. And I understand why they had to do it, but to the degree that they had, now they expose themselves to all types of other problems. Because if there is something that comes out of this, which I think it will with this investigation, when they look into this, and this will hurt where Sony doesn't have that advantage to where Microsoft can really go. That even opens up a chance for Microsoft to really maybe get one of those Japanese publishers. I mean, not publishers, but studios that some people think they're untouchable. This could open up a whole bunch of opportunities for Microsoft, even more so than the ABK deal. And this could set Sony in a position to where their dominance where this dominance landed and stood. It's because of how they've been playing the game and nobody paid attention, or people just let it go because, hey, it's just video games. It's too much money involved. Now you sit here and you wanted to lobby, you wanted to try to make it political. Now Microsoft says we can make it political too. We're in the White House. We understand what's going on. We can go out here to Congress. We can go down the street. We can go talk to some people. You don't think we lobbying for stuff? I think this is a troubling situation heading for Sony. Not saying Sony's gonna go away or some crazy stuff. Nobody wants nobody wants PlayStation to go away. Nobody wants Sony to fail. I know that there's some people that do, but this definitely could be one of the things that we've been saying for a very long time, that this could be the straw that broke the camel's back to where Sony loses their power, their leverage. And if they gave an opportunity for anybody to get there, they would be the wrong ones to let Microsoft do it. Because if you think that just because Microsoft is all kumbaya and nice, I've been saying this from all the stuff they've been purchasing, from engines and stuff with Game Pass. Now they're picking up studios, and then they're investing more and more into other entities in the gaming. They're slowly trying to surround Sony until they squeeze them, and then until they get what they want. Microsoft they got to play the nice game because people hate Microsoft for them being arrogant and the old school Microsoft. Nobody don't want to do that. Microsoft can't do that anymore. Satya can be the one that could be the enforcer or the person that could talk the most, be the most aggressive, but Phil can't do that. Others can't do that. That's not even Phil's nature in a sense either. So it's more of a thing to where we're just going to be silent but deadly. And Sony is sit there. All they needed was an opportunity, and I think this is the one. I think it's the one to where the game has changed. Nintendo's just sitting back. You think Nintendo's going to care about anything with Sony, especially with their relationship? They're like, nah, do what you got to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get COD. Oh, we can get some other stuff through the cloud on the Switch and even on our new upcoming console. Shh, say no more. Here, have a couple of our games just because. Yeah, just have a couple. Man. It's very interesting times. But like I said, you want to check out the article. Let me go ahead and show it to you again. Please check it out. Read it for yourself. Axios. Hitting the wrong thing. And it's the 11, right here. 11 members of Congress argue Sony is unfairly hurting Xbox in Japan. This opens up a whole bunch of cans of worms. So if you want to go check this out, read this for yourself. For you content creators out there that's checking it out, you want to get out there so you have some info. have for your podcast, things like that, for even spaces or whatever, go here, go to Axios. They got it for you. So I really do appreciate you guys coming and checking out the stream. But let me read some of these comments in here. Sony will have to bend the knee. Oh, they already bend the knee. Their country bent the knee today, Jason. Their country. This right here. Now, what Sony has done, this is my whole point of this video, even though I know I'll go left sometime, talk about some other stuff. But this is the whole point of this video. Why Sony has went too far, to the point to where Japan, even though Japan was kind of like, man, go ahead, do what you got to do, whatever. You know, Japan knew what they were doing, what Sony was doing. Nah, man. We're gonna have to put a check on this one. Yep, we approve. You're gonna have the United States. You're gonna have the United States. Not saying that, but this is money. You're dealing with money now. You're messing with money, and Japan wants their money. They want American money. So Sony over here doing this, and if they're getting investigated, Japan's like, okay, let's try to soften this blow. Let's go ahead and just do this. So think about this. Just think about this for a second. Think about this for a hot second. Logically. Because I know there's a lot of people that don't like to think logically. They just like to just throw stuff and let it stick on the wall. Japan knows what Sony has been doing. And hasn't said anything about anything. Hasn't tried to interfere with what Sony has been doing this whole time. Until they had till right here where you see it. Congress argues Sony is unfairly hurting the Xbox in Japan. That's messing up an agreement, man. That they do not want to have this type of fight, because this is not just about video games as well. This is bigger than that. And I explained that to people. I tried to stress this in other My Thought videos, that this is an industry thing. This is bigger. This thing is bigger than this. What Sony is doing is making everybody look at them, man, what are you doing? You messing with money. Saudi Arabia is trying to get into the video game situation. They're not. I knew Saudi Arabia was going to do. They were one of the first ones to jump in. It's over. This battle is over. Even when it gets to the FTC is most likely probably going to prolong it, but maybe not. Because if you get more members, you got 11 right now, and it's bipartisan. And they start really want to have something to where they can look, and because, you know, they want to try to tell their constituents, look, we're doing bipartisan stuff. We're looking out for our American buyers out there. And there's more members that's going to drop on there, and then there'll be some of those big dog members come in there and start jumping in there. Bruh, it's over. There might not be any court hearing. They might got to go to old Miss Khan herself and say, look, man, you better chill on this. Nah, man, let that ride. Let that go. Because it also hurts American interest. How are you going to stop a deal from where American companies trying to compete globally just because you have a narrative that you don't want big corporations to do anything? That's hurting American progress. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Stop it. This is why I love politics. I love watching politics. Anyway. Okay, Mega, we waiting 20 years for the day. My bro. The chickens are finally coming home to roost. Sony has played the game so long, but it's just like with anything. You can only be on top for so long before something comes to get you. And it's usually when a big dog falls, it's because either they made the mistake themselves, or there's just bigger, stronger, faster, lot more, just a lot more hungrier comes and get it. In this case, Sony stumbled themselves. Sony. They had the powers that be came down and told Jim Ryan to go do this. And like I said, maybe Jim Ryan offered this idea to him, but I think that the heads of Sony told him to go out there and make himself look like this. And he's the scapegoat. And you do wonder, after this is over with, and where Sony does have to bend the knee, or as I say, succumb to the throat needle, have to take this deal. Have to take whatever deal. And you know what would be raw? You know what would be raw as hell? You know what would be the rawest thing ever? Everybody gets that 10-year deal, but Sony gets that 3-year deal. Oh, boy, man, Lord. Man, it would be the most spectacular day on social media, and I am all there for the messy slander. I am there. I'm just there just to watch. I'm just going to sit right here like this. Ooh, look at what J-Rock. Oh, my God. Look what Beast is doing. Oh, my God. Oh, no. An addict. Oh, just looking at all you guys. Look at what they're doing. Oh, my goodness. I would just, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Dorian, I would just, everybody that I know that's ex-bodyans. Oh, the day will be glorious. But again, for right now, bro, it would be the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But I think Microsoft will still be fair and give them 10 years. But if Microsoft did play like, y'all didn't want it, so yeah, you get this 3-year deal, enjoy. Sony better have them 10 ready to pop. They better be popping, because, I mean, the game is over. You know what I'm saying? You said, okay, mega agent of chaos. Bro, I'm not an agent of chaos. I'm just saying. Look, you know, man, I would just be sitting here like, look at this messy. Look at this goddamn, ooh, Lord, boy. Anyway. Guys, I really do appreciate coming on. He says agent of messiness. I think he says year by year base. Oh boy, Viper, if they did do the year by year basis, your production was a little bit off, Sony. I think we need to reevaluate our deal. I think we're about to cut you off, bruh. Good luck on your 10-year on your 10 online ventures. Call of Duty, really do appreciate it. You know what? We just the check cleared today from you, Sony. Appreciate it. We are at $69.9 billion. So we hit our goal. We made our goal. Thank you. You know what? That might be what Microsoft do. They'll say, hey, we'll give you whatever, right? That would be crazy, Viper. Like, they do a year-to-year basis until they get all their money back. Man, that would be raw. That'd be raw. Okay, all right. Let me stop being messy. I'm really trying to be fair here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be fair. I'm not. I just look at this and it just blows my damn mind about what Sony has done. I mean, they're a huge company. They got great products. But damn. But yes, as I say as well, let the petty fly. Let the petty fly. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go. But anyway, but yeah, I cannot wait till we find out that they got that deal, and the mighty Sony will bend the knee, succumb to the throat needle, and get and go ahead and get that deal signed, man. That's what we want. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm ready. That's what me, for my messiness, wants to see. You know what I'm saying? So I do like that. I might steal that. From my man right there. From Deus. You know what I'm saying? K Mega Agent of Chaos. I like that. And then off code Agent of Messiness. Good night. I love it. I love it. Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. I am out of here. My rant is done. I love doing this. Good to be back to do the My Thoughts videos. Look, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Help me out. We're getting closer to 5,000. Trying to make that push, man. I'm really ready to make that push now. Also, here, give me a couple of weeks. GRG will be back. GRG and Devin the Gamer will be back on Spotify. I'm going to hopefully get it on iTunes. I don't know. I was having an issue last time, but we will be getting ready to do this here, getting back on that. But I just want to make sure we got enough content to put together so you guys can just have something to listen to here. So give me a couple of weeks. We'll get that going. Also, am working on still on the path now, since everything else is set up. I'm working on that other podcast, man. So that's going to be a ways away. But once we get that going, I'll let you guys know more about that. But yeah, I'm here to stay, man. I ain't going nowhere. So I know there's so many wanting me gone and predicted me out of here, but nah, son, we good. Everybody have a good one. Have a blessed day. See you guys tomorrow, because I'm going to be fighting again. I got to redeem myself for that beating. Oh, man, they beat me down Sunday night. God, they beat me down. Everybody have a good one. Peace, man. Oh, man. Let me try to hit this outro. Is this old GRG outro? Or this is, oh, no, this is another outro, I think. Let's see.
Supreme victory!